Hey everyone, Chris Mack coming at you with an action figure that I've been chomping at the bit to review this year. This is the Universal Monsters NECA Ultimate Bride of Frankenstein. And the box, of course, using the old school moving poster, just looks so beautiful. Especially when you put the box on the wall, it just looks like some awesome wall art. You just miss these hand-painted covers. So gorgeous. On the top, we see a good rendition of the bride there. Of course, on the sides, awesome action figure photography, get the more paranoid look. And then, of course, on the back, I love all the different ways that you can pose her, all these awesome options that you have with this figure. Another really cool product shot here on the side, looks absolutely gorgeous with Universal Monsters, NECA, and Real Toys logos there. Open it up. And I did get the black and white version, which I've explained, I just love that black and white look. And I gotta tell you guys, this piece is magnificent. Love this action figure photography there. Man, I would love to do this for NECA. That would be such the bee's knees. If any of y'all know anyone at NECA, drop my name. I would appreciate you guys. On the bottom, we get everybody that worked on the packaging to the action figure. And as I've said before, I wish more companies did this to give a shout out to everyone that worked hard to bring this figure to life. Now, if you want to pick it up, as I always say, first and foremost, support your local comic shop or others like to get your action figures and comics and grab this figure. If not, at the time of this recording, oddly enough, it is available. Both the black and white and the colored version are available for back order on Entertainment Earth. And on Big Bad Toy Store, the colored version is in stock. So if you like what you see through this review, go pick this awesome piece up. So with all that gushing aside, let's open this up and take a closer look at the Bride. Bride of Frankenstein was a 1935 American science fiction horror film and the first sequel to the Universal Pictures' 1931 movie Frankenstein, and is one of the first horror sequels ever made. James Whale returned to direct the movie, starring Boris Karloff reprising the monster, Colin Clive again as Dr. Frankenstein. The sequel features Elsa Lanchester in the dual role of Mary Shelley and the Bride. It's such a shame that both of her roles are so short. She knew how to project both while she was doing the voice speaking for Mary Shelley, as well as the being able to project feeling through her facial features as the Bride. Now, in addition, a new mad scientist is also introduced, Dr. Pretorius, portrayed by Ernest Thesiger. And I gotta say that he reminds me so much of Stewie Griffin. He can be charismatic, but you can tell something's off and just shows that mad scientist and definitely steals the movie for me. The film takes place immediately after the events of the first film. Henry Frankenstein attempts to abandon his plans to create life, only to be tempted and then blackmailed by his old mentor, Dr. Pretorius, as well as his own creation into creating a bride/friend for him. Unfortunately, this film is the only canonical appearance of the Bride in the original Universal film series. Now with this figure, as you can see, absolutely looks beautiful and really captures Elsa's likeness for this. For the accessories, I love that we kind of get the more stunned face, and then of course the classic one where when she sees Frankenstein for the first time and just and I just love how they do the hair, kind of that like electrode look to it. The black and white for me, again, there's a colored version, but that black and white just really gives you that vibe of that time period on both head sculpts. We do get a third one where they first take her off the table and she's wrapped in bandages. And it comes with a neat little piece here where you can put it, I'll have to play with it a little bit, but essentially goes over her face to kind of give her that whole wrap thing as they go to reveal who's underneath. So I'm thankful for that. She comes with two open palm hands, and she also comes with more open style hands. And for her, that's all we really need. I mean, the Bride sadly didn't do much in the movie other than look around, but it's just those last few minutes just really captured the film, especially when Frankenstein tells Dr. Frankenstein, "Go, live." And then the Bride, him and Dr. Pretorius stay in the laboratory, and he goes, "We belong dead." It is a heartbreaking film, and if you haven't seen it in a while, this Halloween, I highly recommend you guys go check it out. I'm glad that they gave her a cloth gown here, because you could take it off and it reveals all the medical wrap that when they first take her off the table, and I'm just glad that it actually looks like a mummy wrap. So it's cool. You can swap out her head and make her have that first coming to life look. Just a really nice addition. And I love the cloth, and I love that they actually made it look like a medical gown there with the tying in the back. That's just a nice little addition in terms of everything that the figure comes with, just to give you that Bride of Frankenstein look. One thing that was kind of interesting about the head swap is if it, rather than just coming off the dumbbell or whatever it is, it's like a plug. It's just different. I've never seen that before. So at least this way you don't have to worry about, like it is with Marvel Legends and McFarlane's and whatnot, when you pop it off, you're always worried that little dumbbell joint's going to snap off. So I'm glad that they kind of give you that, and you can't really, you see a little bit of a separation, but it looks like it's because of her clothing. So just a great little way to just enhance this and make it a different type of figure. I'm very thankful for that. Now, as for articulation, again, especially with NECA, always warm up these figures, because they always start out, when you take them out of the packaging, they are so tight. So after warming her up, I can get her head down that much, that far back, side to side, and it has a whole lot of motion here, so you can get a really great range for her head. Arm goes out that way, all the way around, no hindrances, which is what I love. Twists at the elbow, 90 degrees that way, hand, of course, side to side and around. Her torso, just like with most female characters, is at the solar plex, so you can twist her that way. I wish that they would give them both at the solar plex and at the waist, so you can get that nice dynamic range there, but it is what it is. Got to get those nice flowing. I love how flowing this gown is, too. I mean, it is super, super long and draggy. Foot goes out that much. Single jointed knees. Come on, NECA, do better with that. Foot goes down, foot goes up, and you get the pivot, of course. And thankfully, because of the plastic butt flap, you can get it all the way back. So, Hasbro, hope you're taking notes. And of course, she has that nice little hidden thigh cut. Doesn't have that nasty cut like the Marvel Legend figures do. Legs can go out that much. Just a great range of motion. So with that, I mean, yes, the single jointed knees suck, but it is what it is. Because overall, the bride in and of herself in the movie had that very kind of robotic movement about her. So it's not really like you're going to be impeded in that regard. It's a beautiful piece. And now to kind of wrap up this year, the NECA Universal Monsters that we've gone over, here's all the figures that we've gone over past and present. The Bela Lugosi Dracula, the Boris Karloff Frankenstein, the Lon Chaney Wolfman, and then of course the Gill Man from Creature of the Black Lagoon, all now around the bride, who does not take any interest, tragically, in Frankenstein's monster. And I gotta say, guys, being a fan of the old school Universal monster films, these are all beautiful and have such great qualities by themselves and together. Though I did kind of give up the fight with the Wolfman's feet, so that's why he's kind of in the crouching position as the only thing that really kills this piece. So it would be really cool if NECA would release like some oopsie-daisy feet replacements, kind of like they did for the Hasbro Sentinel where the legs were loose and they sent a replacement piece or whatever it was. It'd be nice if NECA did that for this particular figure. Setting that aside, though, if you are a horror fan, these are must-have for your collection. And as we go into Halloween of 2025, there are a couple of more Universal monsters that we'll be going over. But for this year, I wanted to focus on some of the most classic and recognizable creatures that we all love to this day. And the bride just really sets them all together, just brings the whole Universal Monsters universe together here. And I just love it. What do y'all plan to do with your Universal Monsters? Are you going to do action figure photography? Are you going to pose them? What do you guys have planned? We'd love to hear your ideas over on our socials. If y'all are horror movie junkies like myself, as well as just movie fans in general, both of these figures are a must-have for your creation. Because if you think about it, both of these characters have just really defined classic horror movies as well as pop culture. I mean, I've seen so many people and different shows homage both of these characters. So to have tangible versions of Boris Karloff and Elsa Lanchester, that makes me so excited, and be able to just kind of recreate scenes doing the action figure photography, and to just see how beautifully done NECA did both these figures. Yes, the single jointed stuff kind of gets on my nerves, but nonetheless, the sculpt, the paint apps, it's just absolutely awesome. So like I just said, if you are a horror movie fan and a movie fan, must have. And if you've enjoyed what you've seen, please first and foremost support your local comic shop or wherever you like to get your action figures and comics, and grab this set or wherever we talked about at the beginning of this review. Speaking of, if you did enjoy this review, really would appreciate taking a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Helps the channel more than you could possibly know. And if you won't mind hitting that fancy little spooky bell next subscribe, that way as I continue to upload content, you guys get notified. Come to the channel, and I love talking with y'all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments or the socials, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, hope y'all continue to have an absolutely amazing spooky day reading, photo slideshow coming up next, and happy hunting, everyone.